picture this. You are going about your day. Everything is completely normal. Just grabbing a coffee, answering emails.
Right, a totally average day.
Exactly. And suddenly your phone rings.
Yeah.
You glance down at the screen, and it is your mother calling.
Okay.
So you pick up. But instead of her usual, warm greeting, she is just frantic. I mean, sobbing uncontrollably.
Oh, wow. That is a terrible feeling.
It's awful. Through the tears, she tells you she's been in a terrible accident, she's trapped, maybe she caused some property damage, and she needs you to wire money immediately to get her out of this mess.
And you panic, obviously.
Naturally. But the truly terrifying part here is that it sounds exactly like her. The breathing is right. The panic is totally palpable.
The little nuances.
Yeah, the specific pitch, the slight gravel in her voice when she gets stressed out.
Yeah.
It is unmistakably, undeniably her.
Except it's not her.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and that is the chilling reality of the landscape we are stepping into today. That voice you are hearing on the other end of the line just pleading for help is just a string of code.
That is just wild.
It really is. It was generated by a scammer who managed to scrape a mere 3-second public audio clip of your mother's voice.
Just 3 seconds.
Just 3 seconds, likely from, a video she posted online years ago. 3 seconds is literally all it took to synthesize that horrifying, heart-stopping reality.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, everyone. Our mission today is to decode a genuinely fascinating and, frankly, deeply alarming source document titled The Fact-Check Matrix: Reclaiming Truth in a Synthetic World.
It is a phenomenal piece of research.
It really is. We are looking at exactly how our digital reality is being manipulated on a daily basis. And more importantly, the goal today is to equip you with a beginner-friendly 3-step framework to basically protect your mind.
Which we desperately need right now.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have essentially lost our biological safety net. For all of human history, the rule of seeing is believing kept us safe.
Right. If you heard a voice in the dark, it was a real person.
Exactly. If you saw a face, it was physically there.
Yeah.
So the big question for you listening is, how do we navigate a world where reality can be synthesized for literally pennies?
That is the core of it.
So to start, I think we first need to understand how on earth 3 seconds of audio is enough to replicate a human soul.
Well, it comes down to how these artificial intelligence models actually process sound. They aren't just hitting record and playback like an old cassette tape.
Okay.
They analyze the microscopic patterns of a person's speech. So when that software gets a 3-second sample, it maps the unique acoustic properties of your vocal tract.
Like the physical shape of it.
Yeah, the resonance, the breathiness, the specific way your vocal cords vibrate. It creates a complex mathematical model of your actual voice.
Oh, I see. So it's not just repeating the words you said.
Exactly. Once it has that model, it learns to predict how you would pronounce entirely new words. So a scammer just types a script like, "I've been in an accident, please send money," and the AI renders that text using that mathematical model.
It's essentially wearing her voice like a digital mask.
A mask that is, for all intents and purposes, completely indistinguishable from the real thing.
That is terrifying.
It is. But here is the real twist from the source material. The deepfake phone scam, as scary and personal as it is really just a symptom of a much larger condition.
Okay, what is the actual disease then?
If we want to understand the disease, we have to look at the underlying business models of the platforms we scroll through every single day. The deepest threat isn't a random hacker in a basement trying to steal your wallet.
Right.
The persistent threat is the machine sitting in your pocket right now, actively trying to steal your worldview.
I mean, we've all heard the cliche by now, right? If the app is free, you are the product. We know our attention is being harvested and sold to advertisers.
We do. But the research we are looking at today suggests it is not just our generic attention being sold, it is specifically our neurological stress response.
Oh, wow. Okay, elaborate on that.
So your attention is the raw material. But the computer code running your favorite apps, these incredibly complex predictive algorithms, they've made a very dark discovery over the last decade.
Which is?
That the stickiest human emotions, the ones that keep you glued to the screen the absolute longest, are anger and anxiety.
So they intentionally make us mad.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
If an algorithm shows you something nuanced, something balanced, or just a calm explanation of an event, your brain processes it, you feel satisfied, and you put the phone down.
Which means the platform loses you. You aren't looking at ads anymore.
Exactly. Nuance is terrible for user retention, But furious indignation, that makes you stay.
Because you want to argue.
Right. It makes you head straight to the comment section. It makes you share the post to tell everyone else in your network how angry they should be. The underlying equation driving this entire digital ecosystem is incredibly straightforward.
Outrage equals ad revenue.
Yes. Outrage equals ad revenue. The financial models of these billion-dollar empires rely entirely on keeping you in a state of perpetual fear. The feed you are looking at is not a reflection of reality.
It's a funhouse mirror.
Exactly. It's a funhouse mirror, specifically curved and distorted to keep you staring at it.
Wait, I got to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
Are we really just blaming the mirror for our own ugly reflection? I mean, humans have loved gossip, outrage, and tribalism since, what, the Roman Empire?
Sure, absolutely.
So if we didn't naturally gravitate towards the negative stuff, the algorithm wouldn't feed it to us? Are these algorithms inherently malicious, or are they simply serving us the digital junk food we naturally crave?
That is a totally fair pushback. We have always gravitated towards sensationalism, but the Roman Empire didn't have a supercomputer in every citizen's toga.
Right, tracking every move.
Yeah, tracking their pupil dilation, their dwell time, their microscrolls, just to see which gladiator rumor kept them engaged the longest.
Yeah.
The difference today is the sheer scale and the asymmetry of power.
It's an unfair fight.
Completely unfair. You are one biological organism with a brain that evolved for the African savanna, and you are going up against a cluster of supercomputers running billions of A/B tests to figure out exactly which headline will spike your cortisol.
So it's not just that we like junk food. It's that we are living in a cafeteria where a super intelligent chef is constantly, mutating the recipe of the junk food in real time, just to ensure we never leave the table.
That is the perfect analogy. The source actually compares social media platforms to a massive global casino.
Oh, I like that.
The casino has these highly addictive slot machines. Every time you pull down to refresh your feed, you are pulling the lever on a slot machine, just waiting to see what emotional payout you get.
Right, a hit of dopamine or a spike of rage.
Exactly. Now, the casino owners, the tech companies, they have a legal fiduciary obligation to maximize shareholder value.
Which means they can't just decide to make the machines less addictive out of the goodness of their hearts.
They literally won't. They will never voluntarily unplug a slot machine just because it hurts our grasp on the truth or because it makes us anxious. They are simply not incentivized to prioritize facts over retention.
So even if their own internal research shows that the digital junk food is making society sick,
their mandate is to keep the casino open and the slots spinning. Expecting tech companies to build safety filters that automatically catch and delete lies is a losing bet.
because doing so directly conflicts with their core business model.
Precisely. If a lie keeps people engaged longer than the truth, the lie gets amplified.
Okay, so if we've established that the individual is being manipulated for profit, we really have to look at what happens when you apply that casino model to an entire society all at once.
And that is where it gets genuinely destructive.
Yeah, the research paints a very vivid, almost cinematic picture of this. Imagine two people sitting right next to each other on the exact same sofa, staring at their phones.
Just swiping away.
Right. Physically, they're occupying the same space, they're breathing the same air, drinking the same coffee.
But digitally and cognitively, they are living on totally different planets.
It's so true.
One person's customized feed is serving them this terrifying, incredibly convincing narrative about the global economy collapsing tomorrow. The algorithm knows they have been stressed about money, so it feeds that fear.
What about the other person?
Meanwhile, the person sitting literally 2 feet away on the same sofa is being served a completely different, absolutely enraging narrative about global politics. And that is tailored specifically to their past viewing habits.
So they aren't even seeing the same news stories. Like they aren't getting different opinions on the same event, they're experiencing completely different events.
And because both feeds are meticulously customized to maximize outrage for that specific user, both people feel entirely validated in their panic.
Because their feed is telling them they are right.
Exactly. The algorithms use silent profiling. They track everything from the videos you linger on for an extra half second to the locations you visit just to build a unique psychological profile. Over time, those two people on the sofa no longer share the same baseline facts.
And when you lose a shared understanding of the world, society just fractures.
It does.
You can't even have a basic conversation or a debate because you aren't agreeing on the basic premises of reality. It's like trying to play chess, But one person thinks the rules are from Monopoly and the other is playing checkers.
That's exactly it. It destroys the very foundation of public discourse. And a divided, anxious, fractured society is an incredibly easy society to control and monetize.
Because we're distracted.
Right. When everyone is locked into their own customized funhouse mirror, isolated in their specific tailor-made panic, nobody is looking at the actual world. Nobody is looking at the people pulling the levers.
So I want to throw a thought experiment directly to you, listening to us right now. Think about your own feed. Think about the last time you were scrolling on the train or waiting in line or just sitting on the couch.
This is some real thought.
When was the last time a piece of outrage content actually improved your daily life? Has getting furiously angry at a stranger's post ever paid your mortgage?
Nope.
Has it ever deepened your relationship with your family or solved a problem in your community?
It really hasn't.
It is entirely synthetic stress. It is a biological reaction harvested for someone else's profit.
And once you fully internalize that seeing is no longer believing and that outrage is an optimized business model.
And that the casino won't police itself.
Right. You arrive at a very empowering, if slightly daunting, realization. No one is coming to save you.
Which means we need a practical personal defense system. We can't just sit here and complain about technology. We have to adapt.
Absolutely. We have to be proactive.
This transitions us perfectly into the actionable solution from the research, the fact-check matrix. The objective here is to shift from being a passive consumer of panic to an active, disciplined investigator of truth.
It operates as a literal survival guide for the digital age, and it's broken down into 3 concrete steps.
Okay, lay them out for us. What is step 1?
Step 1 is the emotional handbrake.
I love that. That is a brilliant visual, a literal handbrake for your nervous system.
It targets the exact biological mechanism the algorithms exploit. So the amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for processing fear and intense emotion, it reacts much faster than your prefrontal cortex, which handles logic.
Right, the fight or flight kicks in first.
Exactly. So when you see a headline or a video or an audio clip and you feel that immediate spike in your heart rate, whether it's rage, panic, or even extreme validation of something you already believe, you must recognize that your biology is being hacked.
So the moment you feel your blood pressure rise, you pull the handbrake.
Right.
You just stop.
You pause. Do not click share. Do not leave a furious comment. Do not even click the like button.
Just freeze.
Yeah. That deliberate pause allows your logical brain to catch up to your emotional reaction. It is the exact moment you reclaim your autonomy from the algorithm.
You are physically interrupting the feedback loop before it turns you into a distribution node for synthetic outrage.
Precisely.
Okay, let's say we've pulled the handbrake. Our heart is racing, we are staring at a massive, controversial claim on a viral post, but we haven't clicked share. We've bought ourselves a moment of clarity. What is step 2?
Step 2 is triangulation. The internet relies heavily on the illusion of consensus. If a single viral account is screaming that a catastrophic event just happened, and the algorithm serves you 10 reaction videos to that same claim.
It feels like the whole world is talking about it.
It does, but you have to leave the platform. You must open an entirely new browser tab, basically physically stepping outside the casino. Search for the claim and look for established, boring, accountable legacy institutions.
You know, I was trying to think of how to visualize this in everyday life, and it honestly reminds me of buying a used car.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Right, because you don't just take the seller's word that the engine is perfect. The seller wants your money. They have a vested interest in you believing their specific narrative about that car.
So what do? You take that car to an independent mechanic.
Exactly. You take it to someone who isn't making a commission on the sale, someone who has a reputation to uphold. You need independent mechanics for your news diet.
That is spot on. A viral anonymous account has 0 consequences for lying. They actually get rewarded with engagement.
But legacy institutions, the boring ones with physical addresses, legal departments, editorial standards, they actually have something to lose.
They face massive defamation lawsuits and a total loss of credibility if they publish fabricated events. You want the boring reality.
Right, boring is good.
If a viral video claims a massive political scandal just broke, but the top 3 global financial newspapers aren't touching it, treat it as synthetic fiction. Financial markets and international wires just do not operate on TikTok rumors.
So cross-reference the outrage with the boring institutions. If it's real, it will exist outside the funhouse mirror.
Exactly.
Which brings us to step 3. And given where we started this conversation today with the frantic phone call from your mother, I think this might be the most urgent, immediate takeaway of this entire deep dive.
I agree completely.
Step 3 is the zero trust offline rule.
This is highly actionable, and I recommend every single listener implement this tonight. Voice cloning is already here, and video cloning is catching up rapidly.
So we can't trust our own eyes and ears.
You can no longer implicitly trust a phone call, a voicemail, or even a video message asking for emergency funds or sensitive info. You need to establish a family safe word.
A literal safe word for your daily life, like pineapple or yellow submarine.
Yes, choose something memorable but totally disconnected from your normal family conversations. And you need to have this slightly awkward but completely necessary conversation with your parents, your partner, your kids.
Explain the tech to them.
Exactly. Tell them that if anyone ever calls claiming to be a loved one in trouble, asking for money or passwords, the person receiving the call must ask for the safe word.
And if the caller doesn't know it, even if the voice sounds absolutely 100% identical to your daughter crying for help or your husband saying he's in jail, you just hang up immediately.
You hang up and you execute the second part of the rule. Verify offline. You dial your loved one's actual saved phone number directly.
Don't just hit redial on the incoming call.
No, because the incoming call can be spoofed to look like their number. You establish a new verified connection. And honestly, 9 times out of 10, they will answer the phone completely confused, sitting safely at their desk.
It is just wild to think about having to institute a password system with your own mother or your own kids, but the technology has literally outpaced our social norms. Hang up and verify offline.
It's the only way to be sure.
So let's recap this entire journey we've been on. We are living in an era of synthetic truth. Outrage isn't just an unfortunate byproduct of social media. It is the fundamental optimized business model of the platforms we use to view the world.
It is baked right in.
But you are not powerless against the machine. By pulling the emotional handbrake when your heart rate spikes, practicing triangulation with independent boring sources, and setting up a zero-trust offline rule with a family safe word, you essentially build a fortress around your attention and your reality.
That is a great summary. But there is a really vital nuance we need to address before we wrap up today.
Okay, what's that?
We shouldn't walk away from this deep dive thinking we need to retreat to the woods, become total Luddites, and throw our smartphones into the ocean.
Keep the phones, basically.
Right. The technological shift happening right now is genuinely magnificent. The exact same foundational AI models that are generating deepfake phone scams, they are currently folding proteins to cure previously untreatable diseases.
Wow.
They are optimizing global energy grids to fight climate change. They are going to create unimaginable wealth, efficiency, and human progress.
So the tech itself is just a tool. It's like a hammer can build a house, or it can shatter a window.
That's it, exactly. The trade-off for these miraculous advancements is that they will also flood our daily communication channels with synthetic noise. You do not have to unplug from the modern world to survive. You just have to build a rigorous mental filter.
You have to choose to be disciplined.
Yes, you have to actively choose complex, boring reality over comfortable synthetic fictions. You have to choose the truth over that quick rush of digital validation.
Because no one else is going to protect your worldview for you. And honestly, that brings us perfectly to the end of our discussion today.
It does.
I want to leave this with you, the listener, as a lingering challenge to basically mull over long after this audio stops. It cuts right to the core of how tightly we hold on to our realities, especially when those realities might be built entirely on algorithms and synthetic noise.
It's a question that forces you to examine your own internal handbrake. Like, are you defending the truth, or are you just defending your algorithmically assigned tribe?
Exactly. Here's the question. If you knew absolutely for certain that the worldview you hold closest to your heart was fundamentally wrong, would you have the courage to abandon it today?
That is powerful.
Think about that the next time you feel the urge to share a furious post, or the next time the phone rings and you have to decide what is real and what is just a string of code.
Build that fortress.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and we'll catch you next time.